Pain is not the enemy you think it is. It is not a mistake, a curse, or something to escape as quickly as possible. Pain is the price that strength has always demanded, and history has never offered a discount. Every generation that tried to bypass it paid a heavier cost later in weakness, confusion, and regret. In ancient Japan, this truth was not debated or softened. It was accepted, trained into the body, and carved into the mind. Samurai did not ask how to avoid pain. They asked how to endure it without breaking. They understood something modern life tries to hide from you. The moment you run from pain, you begin running from yourself. This lesson was lived most clearly by Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's greatest swordsman, a man who walked the path of suffering by choice. Musashi wrote that true strength is not loud, dramatic, or visible to others. It is quiet, disciplined, and built through relentless confrontation with discomfort. To understand this, we must step into a story that feels ancient, yet uncomfortably modern. Chapter 1. The First Fracture. The man we will follow is named Kenji, not because his life was extraordinary, but because it was painfully ordinary. He woke each morning with a tight chest and a sense of quiet dread he could not explain. His life was stable, predictable, and safe, yet something inside him felt hollow and restless. He filled his days with distractions, believing exhaustion was productivity and noise was progress. When pain appeared, Kenji avoided it instinctively. Physical discomfort was softened with convenience, emotional discomfort buried under routine, and mental discomfort drowned in endless stimulation. Like many, he believed peace came from comfort. But the more he avoided pain, the smaller his world became. One evening, while cleaning an old shelf, Kenji found a worn book on Japanese philosophy left behind by his grandfather. Inside were passages attributed to Miyamoto Musashi, written in blunt, almost cold language. One line stopped him completely. "The way is in training." There was no promise of happiness, balance, or fulfillment, only training. Chapter 2. Musashi's Brutal Clarity. Miyamoto Musashi lived in a time where weakness meant death, yet his teachings went far beyond survival. He believed suffering was not something imposed by life, but something deliberately chosen by those who sought mastery. Musashi trained not to feel good, but to see clearly. He slept outdoors, fought duels to the death, and lived without attachment to comfort. But this was not self-punishment. It was purification. By removing softness, Musashi sharpened perception, presence, and resolve. Kenji felt unsettled by this idea. If pain was a teacher, then what had he been learning by avoiding it his entire life? He realized that his anxiety was not random, but the consequence of years spent running from necessary discomfort. Strength, he now saw, had a price he had never paid. Chapter 3. The Modern Illusion of Escape. Modern life offers endless ways to escape pain without ever resolving it. Discomfort is numbed, delayed, or disguised, but never faced directly. This creates the illusion of control while quietly eroding resilience. Kenji recognized himself in this pattern with painful clarity. In Bushido, the way of the warrior, endurance was not celebrated for its drama, but for its inevitability. Pain was expected, welcomed, and integrated into daily training. A warrior who feared pain was already defeated before battle began. Kenji began to see that his avoidance had made him fragile. Small challenges felt overwhelming because he had never practiced meeting resistance calmly. His body was tense, his thoughts scattered, and his will untrained. Pain had not disappeared. It had merely waited, growing heavier with time. Chapter 4. Choosing the Blade. Musashi wrote that one must polish the spirit as one polishes the sword. This process is repetitive, uncomfortable, and invisible to others. Kenji decided to begin not with grand gestures, but with one small non-negotiable act of discipline. Each morning, he would sit in silence for 10 minutes, regardless of discomfort. At first, the silence was unbearable. His thoughts attacked him relentlessly, dragging every unresolved fear to the surface. His legs ached, his breath felt shallow, and his mind begged for escape. But Kenji remembered Musashi's words and stayed still. This was not meditation for peace. It was training for endurance. Each day he stayed, he felt a subtle shift, not relief, but familiarity with discomfort. Pain, once an enemy, began to lose its power. Chapter 5. The body learns before the mind. As Kenji continued, he added physical discipline, simple and deliberate. Cold water in the morning, slow controlled movement, and walking without headphones or distractions. None of these were extreme, but each carried resistance. Each demanded presence. In Zen practice, the body is trained as a gateway to the mind. Musashi believed clarity could not be thought into existence, only forged through disciplined action. Kenji noticed his posture change, his breath deepen, and his reaction slow. Pain was still there, but it no longer controlled him. He realized strength was not the absence of struggle, but the refusal to flinch. The body adapted quickly when pain was met without panic. The mind followed, learning calm through repetition, not reassurance. Chapter 6. Pain as a Mirror. One night, Kenji experienced a familiar surge of anxiety, but instead of escaping, he sat with it. He observed the sensation without naming it good or bad. This was the first time pain revealed something rather than demanded avoidance. Zen teaches that suffering intensifies when resisted. When observed, it transforms into information. Kenji saw that much of his pain was not danger, but habit. His nervous system had been trained to overreact due to years of avoidance. Musashi believed that fear reveals the edge of one's training. Where fear appears, training must continue. Kenji understood that pain was not blocking his growth. It was pointing directly to it. Chapter 7. The Elimination of Excess. As his discipline deepened, Kenji began removing what weakened him. Not dramatically, but quietly. Late nights, unnecessary noise, constant opinions, and compulsive comfort were reduced. In Bushido, simplicity is strength. Musashi lived with almost nothing, not out of poverty, but out of clarity. Excess dulls awareness and breeds dependency. Kenji noticed that with less stimulation, discomfort surfaced more often, but so did presence. Pain no longer felt like punishment. It felt like friction, shaping him slowly. He began trusting the process, even when progress felt invisible. Strength was forming beneath the surface. Chapter 8. Identity forged through endurance. At some point, Kenji stopped thinking of himself as someone trying to improve. He began to see himself as someone who trains. This shift was subtle but permanent. Identity, Musashi taught, is shaped by daily action, not intention. Pain was no longer an interruption. It was part of the path. Whether emotional, physical, or mental, it signaled engagement with reality. Avoidance now felt unnatural. Kenji's life did not become easier, but it became clearer. Decisions were simpler. Distractions lost their grip. He understood that strength was not something added, but something revealed by removing weakness. Chapter 9. The Quiet Power of Acceptance. In Zen, acceptance is not resignation. It is precise awareness without resistance. Kenji learned to accept pain without surrendering to it. This distinction changed everything. When challenges arose, he met them with calm attention. Pain came, passed, and taught. The fear surrounding it dissolved. Musashi wrote that the ultimate victory is victory over oneself. Kenji saw that the battle had never been external. It was always between the desire for comfort and the commitment to growth. Chapter 10. The Way Forward. Pain never disappeared from Kenji's life. It simply lost its authority. He no longer asked how to escape discomfort, but how to use it. This quiet shift transformed his posture, his choices, and his presence. The samurai understood that strength is not built through motivation, but through submission to discipline. Pain is the toll paid at the gate of mastery. Those who refuse to pay remain outside, watching. If there is one lesson to carry forward, it is this: do not run from pain, train with it. Let it sharpen you, clarify you, and strip away what is unnecessary. Strength is not waiting somewhere else. It is already here, demanding its price. If this path resonates with you, continue walking it quietly. Return to these principles, reflect on them, and apply them with discipline. Stay present, stay training, and remain on the way.